给好，欢迎收看我们是说one. So I recently got a DSi, and of course, it's wonderful. Not only can it, play DS games natively, but it can also be used to natively play games from other consoles, like the Game Boy and the GBA, along with other home consoles like the N64, NES, and SNES via emulation. Apart from actual game playing capabilities, it can also be used for lots of applications, original or homebrewed, ranging from recording your voice and taking photos to playing music, connecting to the internet, and even running Linux. However, today I'm going to be talking not just about the actual functionality of the console, but its overall functionality in my life and how it holds up in 2024 after over 16 years. As of today, if I get this video out by November the 1st, this little thing is old enough to drive a car. Initially, I wanted to get a 3DS. Then I saw the prices and decided it would probably be a better idea to get a DSi instead. I saw this listing on Carousel and the prices seemed to be pretty reasonable. I met up with the seller and he showed me 3 DSis. 2 were white and 1 was black. At first, I wanted to get the black one. Then I realized the black and white ones were covered in scratches, so I changed my mind and settled on this white DSi. At 60 Singapore dollars, this Japanese DSi was an absolute steal. The upper screen does have minor bleeding issues. I'm not sure what you would call it, but it doesn't really affect gameplay all too much. Despite minor yellowing, the whole DSi is still completely functional and in near perfect condition. Absolutely gorgeous even after 16 years. Even now, much less 16 years ago, the DSi feels super pleasant in the hands, shaped comfortably for hours of gameplay. People might say that the DSi now, and even back in 2008, was underpowered, but I'd honestly beg to differ, and say that making it more powerful would have been a detriment to the successful life of the DSi. Making it more powerful would probably have compromised on battery life, portability, comfortability, price, or any combination of those few. However, I don't do very heavy gaming, so I probably can't say much about specs. Basically, the DSi coming out in 2009 at $170 just $20 above the original DS or $40 above the DS Lite, was a nice upgrade from its predecessors. It came with more powerful internals, an SD card slot, lighter and smaller than its predecessors, making it more comfortable in general. However, it did lose the GBA slot, though this is not as much of a deal breaker in 2024 as it once was, given the abundance of options to play dumped copies. Diverging from raw specs, I'd say that the DSi is just a nice and cute console to have in general. Although the battery is only 840 mAh, it is still an absolute beast and lasted me around 3 days of on and off gaming while I was on vacation, one of which included a 6-hour-long car ride. One feature I absolutely appreciate about the DSi is that most games and apps, barring 1 or 2 emulators, can temporarily pause when you close the screen, which is super useful when you need to answer the doorbell, for example. In general, apps are light, yet feel so Nintendo. For example, filters and drawing in the camera app, audio recording and playback, featuring cute visualizations in the audio app, the plethora of adorable Nintendo-themed DSiWare, along with PictoChat and other original DS apps. All these apps were cute and unique in their own Nintendo way, coming out at a time when Nintendo had just escaped the rat race of competing specs with other consoles and instead focused on making do with whatever little hardware they had. It's honestly the main reason I prefer Nintendo's consoles to the PlayStations and Xboxes of their competitors. I bought a Wii U and a Wii a while ago, both of which I plan to make videos on, though I never did. Nintendo consoles and games have always had a distinct cute charm rather than trying to be all-powerful and mature like its competitors, and I think that is probably the most logical approach even for Nintendo today. The DSi 2024 is equipped with 2 working cameras, a microphone, a physical volume rocker, a stylus, internet, over 13 buttons, and even a headphone jack. Not even the iPhone 16 Pro Max can say that. Jokes aside, the DSi is obviously underpowered as I said before. But that shouldn't stop you from getting one in 2024, especially if you can find one for a decent price. In today's oversaturated technological landscape, the DSi really is a breath of fresh air. Especially with the DSi coming out at a time where online gaming was still in its infancy, but didn't require you to pay for a stupid monthly subscription just for online play. One might ask, hey Bob001, why would anyone want to carry an extra device just to play silly Nintendo games when you can just install the Delta emulator from the App Store and play DS games on your phone? To that, I would say that is precisely the reason I would choose to buy a DSi and carry it along with me for games. in 2024, with the constant information overload we get from social media and the internet on our phones, we can get easily distracted and lose focus from the task we were supposed to be doing. The DSi, on the other hand, does one thing and one thing only: play games. No notification nonsense, no social media posts to bombard your phone when you're trying to relax. Just pure enjoyment and fun. The primitive internet connection options on the DSi also means that you get more privacy, given that Nintendo, unlike most social media apps today, is probably not going to be collecting data about the games you play. From a purely gaming perspective, it is just nicer to be able to experience these games the way they were intended, rather than seeing them on a one single flat screen and playing them with an external controller. Some might also argue that carrying around a DS in 2024 might be impractical and less convenient compared to just your phone. But I would say that it's with this inconvenience that comes greater satisfaction. Our brains require some amount of work for dopamine to really make us feel good, but the constant dopamine that technology provides, along with our hunt for greater
convenience,
really means that we don't derive as much satisfaction from doing things to our phone as opposed to using the actual intended hardware. Hi, editing me here. What I meant to say is that we don't derive as much satisfaction from doing all our daily tasks on our phones as opposed to using dedicated devices for each task. Though I'm not a scientist, so don't take my word for it. Every job has its tool, and the Swiss Army knife's job is to be a Swiss Army knife, not to be every tool. As someone who has been getting into digital minimalism recently, the DSi is a lovely addition to my everyday carry. I might make a video on my late 2000s era EDC setup at some point, but for now, the DSi functions as my main on-the-go gaming and entertainment device. If I'm ever bored on train rides or have nothing to do while I'm out, I can just whip this out from my bag and start playing. Just having this DSi in my EDC really helps to disconnect from the ever so fast-paced landscape of the internet, since I can actually play quality games without having to be constantly connected to the internet. Just the ability to disconnect from the internet is something so satisfying, and it can give incredible peace of mind. So to conclude, the DSi in 2024 is obviously underpowered, no question about it. However, with the little power it has, it really packs a punch and is a joy to play with. Being able to play games from a simpler time without being connected to the internet really lets my mind be able to rest, instead of continuing to be active and stressed like it would be online. If you can find an affordable DSi in your area, I would totally recommend to pick it up. Hi everyone who stuck around this long. This is like my first video in a while. It's also my first video using my voice. I just really wanted to make this video because I love my DSi so much. I might release more videos in the coming weeks, but no guarantees. Anywho, thanks everyone for watching, stay safe, 感谢大家收看，and 再见。